Ladies and gentlemen, you know him from such cinematic, epic Reno 911. Bucky Larson, the Benchwarmers, and Grandma's Boy, one of the greatest actors of our generation, Nick Swardson. So, this is a great weekend, because it's a special taping. It's also my birthday. Yeah. My birthday! Yeah, I'm turning 47. Yep, still dressed like this. Don't care. I look like a roadie from Limp Bizkit. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, your 40s are weird. A lot of people are like, dude, you're 40? How do you deal with that? And I'm like, here's what you do. You hang out with the elderly. My entourage, my grandma and her friends, yeah, they're in their 90s, dude. You don't feel old around them. Like when I turned 40, I had a panic attack. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it, I'm 40. Around them, they're like, what? What? You're just a child. You're still a child. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still a child. But I feel bad for them because they don't have that in their life. Like when they turn 90, they don't have anybody making them feel better. Like they don't have a friend that's like 150 to tell them that, you know what I mean? When they're like, I can't believe it. I am 90. They don't have a 150-year-old friend like, that's a hard joke to open with because it's wicked painful, physically on every level. But you guys are awesome. So you get older, you try to maintain, try to work out. Try. So I'm like, what's a good workout? I'm like, swimming. So I go to the pool at my gym. There's a sign by the pool, and this is a real sign, and it said, if you've had active diarrhea in the last 14 days, don't get in the pool. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can never go swimming again. 14 days without diarrhea. 14? I have diarrhea every other day for sure. Not even a question. To the point where I'm worried if I don't. Like if a solid turd leaves my body, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why is my asshole not spraying out hot chocolate like an angry dragon? That's what I'm used to. Yeah, active diarrhea? Why do they have to say that? Whose diarrhea is lazy? Not this guy. Yeah. Other comedians have talked about that sign, but mine's the best one. Yeah, no, because I'm the Tom Brady of diarrhea. Yeah, you can't top my diarrhea joke, so walk away. Walk away. So speaking of diarrhea, I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I know it's not close to Christmas, but this happened during Christmas, so let's just pretend that it just happened. So anyway, long story short, Merry Christmas. So this Christmas, I decided this. I'm like, I'm not gonna get gifts from my friends and family. So what I did was I joined an organization where you could adopt a family that was on hard times and pay for their family to have a nice Christmas. And that's what I did. Yeah, that's my time. No, I'm kidding. So I adopted this family, and it was awesome. And the kids would make lists of things they really wanted. And I'll never forget, this kid was 12 years old. His high priority gift that he wanted for Christmas was a gift card to Taco Bell. Yep. And I thought that was adorable that he's that young and smokes that much weed. Yeah. But he didn't say how much he wanted the gift card for. So I was like, what if I got this kid a gift card to Taco Bell for $10,000? Yeah. That kid's never going swimming again. So my friends try to eat healthy. They eat the Impossible Burger. Do we know that one? Yeah, have you had that cat food on a bun? Yeah, it's cat food. Yeah, it's not real. And they swear by it, my friends. They're like, do you understand? It looks just like a burger. And it tastes just like a burger. But it's not. I'm like, okay, I want to use that theory. I want to go up to some people to party with a handful of white powder. And I want to be like, hey, you want to do some cocaine? And they're like, no, I don't do cocaine. I'm like, it's not cocaine. It looks just like it, doesn't it? It's not, it's impossible cocaine. And they're like, all right, I'll try it. Fuck! I'm really high. Yeah, I know, it's crystal meth. Yeah. You're gonna be high for like a week. Have fun. Ride that out. So yeah, again, I try to work out, can't go swimming. I talked to my friend John the other day. I go, hey, what are you up to? And he goes, nothing. Just got back from the gym. I go, oh, how was that? And he goes, weird. Which is a weird response, right? And I go, why was it weird? And he goes, I'm in the locker room. There's this elderly man walking around naked. Yeah, his balls are out super low, just walking around naked, just super old man balls. And I go, okay. And he goes, well, that's weird. And I'm like, no, it'd be weird if he was in like a Walgreens or something. He's in a locker room at the gym. You know what's weird? You're telling me about this. Let the old man shower. He's just walking around. My friend John's like, no! No! No balls! Not here! Not now! What the hell? Yeah, his balls are low. You wanna know why? Because he's wise. Yeah. The lower a man's balls are, the wiser he is. It's like rings on a tree. Why do you think wizards wear robes? Their balls trail behind them, gathering treasure from around the Shire, casting genital spells. Show some respect. If that happens to me, and I'm an elderly man, and I'm naked in the locker room, and someone's disrespecting my jennies, I'm gonna take my balls, and I'm gonna attack. Just... And then that motherfucker's gotta go into work on Monday. They're like, Rick, how'd you get a black eye? He's like, it's not. It's a sack eye. I disrespected the elderly. Yeah, God bless the elderly. Yeah, we have it so much easier. They didn't have sexting growing up. Yeah, we have sexting. Throughout history, they didn't have that. Yeah, right now you're horny, you fucking hit up an ex. Here's my fucking dick. Yeah, how's your afternoon? I don't know. Jenny's! Yeah, imagine being horny in medieval times. Let me take you back. As one of the #1 Razzied actors ever. Razzies are the anti-Oscar. I've been nominated 9 times. Yeah. And I'll keep going. So anyway, imagine being in medieval times and you're a horny guy on your castle and you're like, ah! I'm so horny right now. I wonder what Guinevere's up to. She's so beautiful. And they would have to take a note and be like, my dearest Guinevere, you are a vision of a sunrise. Draw a picture of your tits. And they had to tie it to a raven. Hurry, raven! Find her castle! Make sure the picture's good! For the love of God! Then weeks go by, his dick's ripped off. Yeah, we've got it easy. Jenny's! So here's some life advice. I've got so many of it. But this is serious. Stay immature, stay silly. This world's too serious and it's super annoying. So make sure we all agree. Stay immature. So here's an immature example. Number 1, I went home for the holidays. Minnesota. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call my friend Chuck that I grew up with. I haven't talked to him in forever. So I remembered his number from growing up. That's a key detail. So I call the number, phone rings, man answers. He goes, hello? And I'm like, oh. What's up, pussy lips? And the man just goes, hello, Nick. Yeah, it was Chuck's dad. Because it was a number from growing up. And I was like, I immediately turned back into a child. I was like, oh, hey, Mr. Klein. Is Chuck there? No, Nick. Chuck hasn't lived here for 30 years. He has a wife and a family. I'm like, right. Yeah, that makes total sense. So he gives me Chuck's new number. I call Chuck. Tell him that I called his dad Pussy Lips. So just visualize somebody doing that to your dad out of nowhere. Being like, what? And my favorite is that he still knew it was me. After all these years, it was just like, hello, Nick. You're the only person on this earth that would call me Pussy Lips. So I got obsessed with saying it, like a Tourette syndrome. I just started saying it to anybody. I don't care. I'd be like, what's up, Pussy Lips? What's up, Pussy Lips? What is up, Pussy Lips? So then, cut to a hotel in Georgia, and I'm coming home late at night, and I'm all alone in the hallway, or so I thought. So I was like, I'm gonna drop a hard Pussy Lips. So here's the mistake I made, everybody. I did it as I turned a corner. So I go, what's up, Pussy Lips? And I walk right into a sweet old elderly couple. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Have a great night. So many blessings. So many. And I just walked back to my room and I laughed. And then I got sad because I was like, they're never gonna forget that for as long as they live, which is not much longer. So I just pictured this couple in a hospital room, the husband on the bed, his wife standing over him. He's looking up at her like, Gloria, I love you so much. What a beautiful journey we've been on. So many memories. Do you remember that time in Georgia when we went for a late night stroll and that man ran into us and he goes, "What's up, pussy lips?" Why did he say that? Who was he talking to? You or me? Which one of us is pussy lips? Ooh, he died. He died in that joke. So, common question being a comedian for this long. People are like, were you a weird child? Were you like a funny, weird child? I'm like, yeah. No, when I was 8, I was a divorce attorney. Super weird, I was very serious. No. So here's a true story again of little Nick Swardson, 11 years old. 11. So my older sister, Rachel, she was 16 at the time, and she had a sweet 16 party. Oh my God. Ladies, right? 16, you're like, what? Here's what I figured out, side story. The loudest sound in the world is when a drunk chick is at a bar and runs into her friend that she didn't plan on seeing that night. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It is jarring. You'll be hammered at the bar like, yeah, I know, it's like, I don't want to go to work on Monday. It's like, my fucking job sucks. It's like, so stupid. Oh my God. Is that Stacy? I think that's Stacy. Stacy! 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 Ah! Ah! Everyone's like, oh my God. Are we in Jurassic World? You just saw her a week ago. So anyway, back to my stupid sister. She has her sweet 16 party. So again, I'm 11 years old. I'm like, what do I do in this scenario? There's gonna be a bunch of drunk teenagers in my home. Here was my game plan. Took my squirt gun, pissed in it. Ah, were you a weird child? Yeah. So I went around and sprayed drunk people in the face. Yep. And they had no idea. They thought it was water. They were like, Nicholas. So here's the mistake I made. Everything was going great. And I made the mistake of telling somebody what I had done. My sister's friend, Kristen, she goes, oh my God, Nicholas, that's so funny. You're spraying people with water. And I was so cocky. I'm like, it's not water. She goes, what is it? And I go, it's pee. Right at that moment, Greg, the quarterback from the football team, rolls up. I'm like John Wick at this point. I'm just like, both eyes, nose, mouth, 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 ears, 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 nose. Just annihilated him. And he goes, Nicholas. And Kristen goes, oh my God. Greg, that's not water. That's piss. You have piss all over your face. I was like, no! Again, I'm 11 years old. He tackles me, pins me down, unloads all the piss gun in my mouth. My own piss in my mouth. Yeah, it was horrible. But it's funny how you remember stuff from your childhood and it makes sense as you get older. Like, I remember that, and I was like, oh. That's why that's the only way I can orgasm now. First part of that story is true. Second part is not. So I'm sure you guys are like, Swardson, that had to be the last time you had your own piss in your face. Nope. Here comes story number 2. Again, a true story. And this is one of my favorites because it involves one of my best friends, one of my favorite people, David Spade. We know who David is, right? Sweet David! So he calls me up one time and he goes, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing?" I go, "Nothing. What are you doing?" And he goes, "Nothing. I'm going to a concert tonight. You want to go?" I'm like, "Yeah, who is it?" He goes, "Def Leppard and Bryan Adams." I'm like, "That's the most David Spade concert I've ever heard of in my life." But I go, "Yeah, how are we getting there?" And he goes, "I rented a helicopter to beat traffic." I'm like, "Okay, that's weird." So we go to the airport. It's me and David's date. Beautiful supermodel. Beautiful. Very tall for David. No, it was awkward. She was like 4'3". He's gonna hate me for saying that. So we get in the helicopter. We're 10 minutes into the flight, and I have to urinate really bad. I'm like, "Ah." And David goes, "What's your problem?" And I go, "I gotta pee." And he goes, "Why don't you pee at the airport?" And I'm like, this is how dumb I am. This is real. I go, "I thought there'd be a bathroom on the helicopter." And I think I said it exactly like Napoleon Dynamite. "I thought there'd be a bathroom on the helicopter." So he goes, "There are no bathrooms on helicopters." I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not part of a Channel 5 fucking news team doing traffic every day. I've never been on a helicopter. Sorry, Magnum PI." So he goes, "Well, I don't know what to tell you. Piss out the window." So he was not serious. This guy, I don't know, thought he was serious. There was like a sliding window to get air. I fucking saddle up. And I go, "TT, here's how dumb I am again." And I'm not lying to you. I thought pee would just go like that. Like a drinking fountain stream, it would just go pee. Travel tip, everybody, it doesn't do that. Yeah, here's what it did. All over my face and mouth. All over David and David's date. And David goes, "What the fuck?" And I go, "You said piss out the window." He's like, "I was joking. You can't piss out of a helicopter." I'm like, "Well, you wanted to see Def Leppard, Joe Dirt." And that's the only way David can orgasm now. Silly, just silliness. But yeah, I hate flying. I have to fly a lot. I hate flying. My friend the other day is like, "Hey, have you ever been to Bali?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "You should go. It's beautiful." I'm like, "Okay, what's that flight?" He's like, "It's like 21 hours. No, the answer will always be no if I've ever been to Bali. 21 hours on a fucking plane? If I go to Bali, then I'm moving to Bali. Not getting back on another flight. There's not enough alcohol on that flight to get through that nonsense." So whenever you fly, you know this, right? You want to fly direct. Like, get me there for the love of fucking God. I love when these online places have other options where I'm like, "Oh, Seattle to Denver? That's easy." And the website's like, "Okay. You want to save $50? Yeah, maybe one stop? No, I want to get there." Okay, I see what you're saying. Just saying, a couple more bucks. 2 stops. I'm like, no. And then there was one site where I was like, no, direct. And they were like, okay. But what if 3 stops? 3 stops was an option. I'm like, who is that for? Who's in no hurry to get anywhere at all? It's like a simple flight. And they're like, Seattle to Denver? Okay. What about Seattle to Boston, Miami to Bali, then Denver? The flight takes 3 weeks, you grow a beard. No. Stupid. And here's a travel tip, and this is serious. I have so much life advice. Don't fart on an airplane. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Unless it's Spirit Airlines, then shit your pants. Who cares? They're a fucking nightmare. There's no spirit on that flight. It's just dead souls. Miserable. So if you have to fart on a flight, okay, I've solved it. Here's what you do. You let it build. You know when you feel it, you're like, oh. Let it build, clench, and push it forward. Yeah, clench, push it forward until you're with child. Yeah, you have a beautiful fart, baby. Ready for the world. You feel it kick, you're like, oh. It's a boy. Then you go into the bathroom, take your pants down, sit on the toilet, press flush. You know how violent those airplane toilet suctions are? So violent. You just sit there and flush. It's like... It sucks every fart out of your asshole. Yeah, for the next 5 years. You have to fart for 5 years. That's how powerful that suction is. Yeah. And then you come. Yeah, and then you come. So I thought those flights were stupid. Then there's a flight to Mars. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's a real flight to Mars. The planet. Mars. They want to get over and colonize Mars because they found water that's frozen. Okay, yeah, we better get over there and figure skate. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. They found frozen water. They didn't find like a Buffalo Wild Wings or something. Where I'd be like, I might do that. Yeah, the game's on. The flight to Mars takes 4 months. 4 months. I'm pretty sure it's one way, by the way. That's dicey right there. You're done figure skating, you're like, okay, I want to go home. Nope. If I had to do a flight to Mars for 4 months, I would need a bar of Xanax the size of a canoe. There'd be the whole seat next to me would be a bar of Xanax, and here's what I'm doing. I'd open the window, piss out of it, everyone's fucking dead. You know what I mean? Yeah, no thank you, Mars. If anybody here is listening from Mars, nope. Not happening. Cut to my next special live from Mars. And I'm just figure skating. So yeah, I hate flying. You know what else I hate? Spiders. Yeah, we can all get behind that, right? Yeah. Are there any fucking spiders here? Yeah. Oh! Yeah, before COVID, remember that? I got bit by a spider. Yeah, I went to bed. I was in dreamland, very happy, and I woke up and I had this red knot on my calf. And I was like, oh shit. I better go to the bar. Yeah, not stupid. So here's some more life advice. Don't get medically diagnosed by your friends at a bar. Because it turns out they have no idea what they're talking about. So I show up at the bar, and I go, hey, I just woke up, is that bad? And my friend Rob goes, no, that's a zit. I think it's a calf zit, you zit on your calf. And I'm like, okay, so I listen to him. 2 days go by, it's inflamed and now insanely painful. So I have to go to the ER, because I have a fever of like 105. Swear to God. So I go to the ER. The ER doctor goes, oh my God! When did that happen? And I was like, a couple of days ago. She goes, why don't you come in right away? And I was like, I was at the bar. My friend Rob said it's a calf zit. She goes, a calf zit? I don't even know what that is. She's like, no, that's a spider bite. It's one of the worst you can get. It's from a brown recluse. Do you know what that is? Don't Google it, because it's horrific. So I was like, are you sure? It's not a calf zit? She goes, do you want to listen to your friend Rob or an ER doctor? And I was like, you don't even know Rob. Why are you talking shit about Rob, bro? You don't even know him. So they clean it up. And the next time I went drinking with Rob, I dumped a box of spiders on his face. And I go, dude, you have acne. Yeah, and he fucking died. Yeah, Rob, idiot! No, I'm kidding. I didn't gather spiders and dump them on his face. But I've told that story and people are like, whoa, man. Like, I really gathered spiders and just hoped they all bit him on his face? And then he died? I wish. Damn it, but fuck spiders. People are like, no, they're cool. Oh, really? Oh, you hang out with them? Hey, what's up, spider? Yeah, no, they're just stoners. They're lazy. They're lazy stoner things. Yeah, what do? What do spiders do? They go and they weave a web. Hey, man, I'm gonna weave this web. And I'm just gonna sit there. And I'm like a lazy fuck. I just wait for other bugs to walk in and then, you kill them. No, it's lazy. That'd be me going like, I'm a deadly assassin. Oh, really, Nick? How do you kill people? Well, I get high and build a hammock. Somebody walks in, you're fucking dead. No, it's stupid. So you guys are Reno 911 fans? Sweet Terry. Sweet Terry. Yeah. So one of my favorite things that happened, again, true story. So this is pre-COVID. I'm at my local sports bar, day drinking and watching sports, which is what I love, watching all my teams lose. So I'm sitting there day drinking, and it was to the point where, and you know what I'm talking about, day drinking or night drinking, when you're at the bar and you have that inner monologue where you're like, oh, I should not be in public. It's that horrible feeling where it's like, okay, gotta go home. So I live 2 blocks from this bar, key detail. So I'm like, I'm gonna walk home. When I say walk, that's a very loose term. I call it newborn baby drunk walking. You know what I'm talking about. Have you seen a newborn baby take their first steps and they're so happy they're not falling down? It's a look of pure joy. And that's what I looked like. And I'll show you. Here's me walking home from the bar, fucking shit-faced. Here I go. So I made it a block and then wipe out. Yeah, so I fall down onto a lawn, and I was like, oh shit, I better take a nap. Yeah, it's nap time, I'm not stupid. So hours go by, I get woken up by police, flashlights on my face, and they were like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I'll go sleep. And they're like, hey, you can't do that. That's not your lawn, that's not your house. And I was like, I'm really drunk. And they were like, yeah, we weren't even gonna ask that. We didn't think you were camping alone with no equipment. So a panic attack as I'm drunk in public. So I pull my license out and I go, hey, that's me. I go, I live right there. I was trying to walk home. I was at the bar watching my teams lose. I got sad. So I did a bunch of shots. So, yeah. And the cop's like, okay, are you okay to walk now? I'm like, no. So he's like, oh my God. So him and the other cop help me up, and they walk me to my home. And they walk me into my home, and they put me into my bed. Yeah, it's a true story. And I was sitting there and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So they're walking out of my bedroom. I didn't know what to do, so I go, thank you, officer. And the cop turns to me and just goes, sweet dreams, Terry. Terry from Reno 911, America's sweetheart on roller skates. But it made me laugh visualizing them rolling up on that scene, being like, yep, found the guy, he's right here. Yeah, he's passed out. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah. It's fucking Terry. From Reno 911. No hand jobs or roller skates. He's just in the spirit world. Let's get him home. And they did. So you guys like Grandma's Boy? Sweet Grandma's Boy, the best fans on the planet. The best. Shit's weak. So one of my favorite things, people always go, hey, I love Grandma's Boy. Why wasn't it in the movie theaters? And I'm like, it was. For like a half hour, and then theaters were like, nope, ain't. But it was in the theaters long enough for this to happen. My mother calls me up. She goes, Nicholas, we have a situation. And I go, what, are we out of mayonnaise? She goes, no, that would be an emergency. She goes, no, Grandma went to go see Grandma's Boy in the theater. And I was like, who told her to do that? And she goes, nobody. Grandma was having breakfast, reading the paper, and there was a big ad for a movie called Grandma's Boy, co-starring Nick Swardson, co-written by Nick Swardson. Sit on my face. Adios, turd nuggets. It's fucking rage. So, love you. So I go, okay, what happened? She goes, well, her nurse brought her to the theater in her wheelchair. And I was like, then what happened? She goes, then Grandma walked out of the movie. Yeah, so I cured her. Yeah, you're welcome, Grandma. So my grandma was horrified, obviously. So I didn't want to call her and upset her, so I called her nurse. And she answers the phone, she's like, hello? I'm like, what's up, pussy lips? No, I'm kidding, I didn't say that. I go, hey, what's up, it's Nick. And she just goes, ugh. And I go, I heard what happened. At what point did my grandma realize this movie was not her life story? Like, what was the breaking point? Do you remember? And she goes, yeah. When the guy started jerking off to the doll, and he goes, I can't stop coming, it feels so good. And then you said, I can't believe you came on my mom. My grandma was like, nope. That is not my life. That's not my life. Yes. But such is life. It's so bad, man. So, one of my other favorite movies that I was a writer on was a movie called Malibu's Most Wanted. Malibu, Malibu. If you don't know it, it's about a white rapper named B-Rad, starring Jamie Kennedy, one of my best friends. Great actor, comedian. If you don't know who Jamie is, he was in all the original Scream movies. So I used to live with Jamie, I moved in with him, we wrote the script together, we made the movie, and I moved out. So one of my favorite things I like to do, going back to my immaturity, is I love scaring people. I love scaring the shit out of my friends. You know when you get a good scare out of somebody and you're like, fucking yes. So I'm having dinner with Jamie way long after Malibu. And in my head, I'm having dinner with Jamie and I go, you know what? Jamie was in the Scream movies. Maybe he wants to live them. So I leave the dinner, double back to his home that I used to live in again, park in the alley. I go through my car. Somebody had given me a gag gift. It was a baseball hat with a long-haired wig sewn into it. And I'm like, that's gonna come in handy. So I take my shirt off so he doesn't recognize it, put on the hat with the wig, hop the fence, break into his home, go into his kitchen, and I get the biggest knife that I can find. And I go into his living room, and I just stand in the dark, right in the corner of his living room. And in my head, I'm like, this might be too far. But he walks in the front door, I'm like, nope, game on, here we go. So I don't move, I just stand there. And he walks in like any of us would, tired from the day, throws his keys down, turns on the light, sees me. It's the most scared I've ever seen a human in my life. He made a sound from the depths of Mordor. He sees me and just does this. No! No! Oh! Oh! Now I'm scared. I drop the knife and take my hat off. I'm like, it's me, Nick! And he goes, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that? I'm like, did I scare you? Yeah, it was terrible. And that's the only way Jamie can orgasm now. Yep, I'll leave you with that, San Jose. I love you. I love you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you. I can't love you enough. I'll be back. God bless you.